Hi everyone. I know this is my second upload of today, but I was not very proud of the video I made earlier. I still posted it, not very proud of it, and I think I'm catching some sickness again. But I really just wanted to make another video today for some reason. This is my second video and my third video if you count my short. So yeah. Today we're gonna see arguably my most controversial video yet on this channel. Gavin Newsom versus JD Vance. This is probably going to trigger a lot of people, and I guess that's fine. So, with Gavin Newsom, he's from California, and then JD Vance is from Ohio, right? Just keep this in mind because this will have a very interesting impact on the election. First, I want to talk about Gavin Newsom. So, he's the governor of California, and he's term limited, so he can't run again in 2026. But if we take a look at his 2022 results, we saw that even though even though he won his 2021 special recall election by 23, still not the best performance. And then he won his governor's race by 18 points. So we already saw that there was a huge shift away from Gavin Newsom. We see Gavin Newsom lost every single competitive House district in the state except for Costa's district against the former minority leader, and even in the recall election. This was a pretty low turnout election, honestly, so it's no surprise Democrats did good in it. But overall, Newsom, not the most popular in California. And if we take a look at California politics, Kamala Harris, who is also from California, so Harris, she won the state by 20 points. This is the worst Democratic performance in California since John Kerry won the state by about 9% back in 2004. And on the flip side, we have Ohio. This is JD Vance's home state in Appalachia. This is where very decent performance for Vance we're going to see. He's a Rust Belt person. His policies are for the middle class, the Rust Belt, the white working class. That general area of the country probably going to favor him. And we take a look at Ohio. So Trump won the state by about 11 out of his trapezoid states. He did the worst in the state. It is in the Senate race, we saw that made Bernie Moreno be able to unseat 18-year incumbent Sherrod Brown from the race by about 3 points. I know a lot of people said it would be competitive. I don't think many people really said it would be a 3 point margin. That was kind of shocking. We took a look at past elections. Vance won his seat by about 6.1%. So this was a very bad showing for him, honestly. We took a look at this map. Vance, not very good at all. It was a 6 point margin. He did significantly closer than every other election in Ohio. We take a look at the governor's election, Mike DeWine. He won his race by like 25%. And so even the JD Vance's race in particular, that race, even in 2016, that was a Republican plus 20 seat against a former governor. So I think a lot of people thought JD Vance would hurt in Ohio. But there's this quote that's been going around. The second they heard JD Vance speak, the second they liked him. I will testify to that fact. I was very skeptical of JD Vance, and I genuinely did not think he would be a very good vice president at all. And then the first time I heard him speak during that debate, I'm like, who is this guy? Where was he in 2022? Where was he with all his scandals? And yeah, he did very good in that debate. I think that shifted a lot of people towards Trump, especially. And basically, that just solidified JD Vance as the next front runner for this race. Gavin Newsom, he's currently leading in the betting odds. So let's talk about each candidate's strengths. So JD Vance, like I said, his strength will probably be in Appalachia. I do think he'll have a decent strength with Hispanic voters. I don't think many of them are going to vote for Gavin Newsom, especially. Okay, consider this: California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado, Texas, Florida. Those are the Hispanic majority areas for Hispanic plurality areas of the country. And when we see with that, a lot of Californian immigrants are moving. I would say immigrants, even though they're a lot of Californians are moving to those areas, which a lot of people in those states are like not big fans of. And yeah, I think I honestly with Trump's border policies, if Trump can get the economy back on track, decent amount because Hispanic voters tend to be impacted a lot more when it comes to economy stuff like Maverick County. We go back to Maverick County and the short I made about that. 95% Hispanic Latino county shifted for Trump heavily towards 2020 and 2024. Examples like that. We saw Imperial County shift towards Trump border policies, cost of living policies, because Gavin Newsom very, very bad when it comes to the cost of living crisis. California has recently just been ranked the worst state in the entire country to live in. So, yeah. Without further ado, actually, let's just take a look at what Gavin Newsom, probably not the best Hispanic appeal, not the best black voter appeal either. He's not very it's more of a coastal, I would say coastal white voter appeal. So I think we might be able to see some reversions in New England because more progressive politics, more progressive Gavin Newsom. So yeah, that's what I think. So let's take a look at the demographic shifter real quick. So we take a look. I'm just gonna quickly adjust these to margins. White non-college graduates were about 38% of the vote. White college graduates were about 30. Black voters were about 11. It's just Asians and others made 6. And then yeah, similar-ish margin. Actually, hang on, I'm gonna fix this. And then Trump did a few points better with white non-college graduates. White college graduate exit polls actually net evened. Black African American voters. Kamala did kind of bad with African American voters compared to usual. I think she got 86% of the vote. And then Trump, I think he got 13% of the vote, if I remember correctly. Hispanic and Latino, once again, we see Kamala did very bad with Hispanic and Latino. She got that margin down to 51% from Biden because we've seen Hispanic vote. It's not even just a 2020, 2016 issue, systemic issues. We've seen this issue when Donald Trump entered the ticket. Hispanic voters were about 2/3. We saw the shift. We saw the shift again. We're probably going to see another huge shift. Yeah, and then we see Asian American voters are pretty dead even, actually. I think it was like 49 if I remember correctly. So when we see this, this was a popular vote. This was roughly even. We see, let's say, because I do think JD Vance will do pretty good with the white non-college votes. I think he gains a few percent with that, and with that, doing decently good in the Northeast. I think the Hispanic vote shifts more towards him, and then like that, he wins the state in New Mexico. Asian voters, I think Asian voters does a little bit worse with Asian voters. Non-college graduates, Donald Trump's alma mater, to be honest, but I do think JD Vance will do a little bit better like that. And with that, he wins the state of New Hampshire and New Mexico. Because even though there aren't a lot of swing states, most swing states don't. Like the swing states we have now, not very elastic. Arizona, best elastic case, 5.5 and a 0.5, so 6-point elasticity. So a very split ticket state. But the rest of these swing states, and then there aren't really other swing states. There's the New Hampshires, there's the Minnesotas, there's the Nebraska second congressional districts. But overall, I'm gonna put a timestamp in the bottom in case you guys are this far and just wanted to skip. But in that case, you guys would have already watched this all. So basically, this is my prediction. I don't feel good. I think Washington will be safe. I think Oregon and I think actually, do I want to put Oregon in the likely column? No, I'm gonna put Oregon in the safe column barely because Harris won it by 14.3, and we've seen this race get kind of competitive before. Like, Oregon has definitely been trending to the right. Actually, no, I'm not gonna put Oregon in the safe column. I think I'm gonna put Hawaii in the safe column. I'm tempted. I think I'm gonna move Colorado to the safe column, just because Colorado shifts. It only shifted 2 points to the right, so it trended significantly more towards the left. I think Maryland, and since Gavin Newsom, like I said, he's more of a coastal candidate. I do think he wins Delaware. I do think he wins Connecticut and Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont. I think he wins those areas by a safe margin. And then I think he wins Maine's first congressional district by a safe margin. There's some pretty good states for Democrats I have not characterized yet. For JD Vance, I think he wins Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North and South Dakota, Nebraska. I do think he wins Nebraska's first congressional district. It is probably not going to go to Gavin Newsom. He is not a very good candidate for the middle of Nebraska. Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, South Carolina. And I I hesitated on this a lot. I hesitated so much on these two races, Texas and Florida. I am going to be risky. I'm going to put them in a safe column. I've said this before. This is going to be my most controversial video ever on this channel, but I think they win by safe margins. Here's why. I think we see trends reverse in the college educated areas, which we've already been seeing. I think Fort Bend County goes back to the Republicans. I think Republicans can win back Harris County if in a best case scenario. Actually, they probably won't win back Harris County. I think we take a look at some of these counties. Bexar County voted 18 points for Joe Biden, but then Kamala only won it by about 10. We can see a lot of these areas shift back. Fort Bend County, for example. Then the Rio Grande Valley. The Rio Grande Valley has about 1,000 votes each. So even if that happens, we're probably not going to see the most shifts from there. We're going to see it from college educated Texas, and then Florida. Okay. I think Florida, this is Trump's alma mater. Like he is the Florida candidate. He is Florida man. We see JD Vance not the most appeal in Florida. However, I feel like a lot of voters in Florida will be voting against Gavin Newsom more just because of the fact a lot of these voters from California, they've moved to Texas and Florida for a reason. Like there was a reason they moved. Probably they hate the cost of living crisis. They hate the crime rates. They hate everything. Well, actually, California is pretty decent from what I've seen. I went there a few days ago. But overall, I think a lot of these people, they're going to move. They don't want Gavin Newsom to be the president. They do not want his policies. They don't want any of this. I think Texas and Florida, just over 15 points. And then I'm going to move Iowa and Ohio. Gavin Newsom, once again, not the best candidate for rural Appalachia. However, JD Vance, the candidate for rural Appalachia. If they can get their promises done, I think Montgomery County can flip back because there aren't really a lot of counties you can make an argument for that are like super elastic. You can Hamilton County, that's the best example of a county. It shifted to the Democrats. Clinton, it was a 10-point county for Clinton, a 6-point county for Obama. And in 2004, we saw Bush won Hamilton County while also bleeding a lot in the rural areas, which Trump was able to quickly fix and win Mahoning County. He won Lorain County, solidified margins there. I think because Ohio, a lot of people don't realize Ohio, statewide wise, very Republican. What I like to do is I like to take the very non contentious races people don't usually think about as the races that dictate how partisan a state can be. For example, we take a look at Ohio statewide races, Senate 2016. No one was really thinking about Senate 2016. And then we saw Ohio went Republican by 20. We saw no one thought of Iowa governor in 2022 and or Ohio governor in 2022. They were 20-point Republican victories. JD Vance, he's from Ohio. I think this is long gone the days where Democrat have contention in Iowa and Ohio. 213. And then for Democrats, I'm going to get so much hate for this, guys. I'm not trying to be a grifter, I promise. I think Oregon, California, Illinois, New York, and Maine. I think these are going to be Democratic likely states. And here's why. I hesitated so much with California. So a 20-point Harris victory, and we take a look at the Senate race. We go to that 2022. Like we see Joe Biden, like the margin in California has gone from 30 points from Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden to 20 points. Like we've seen a 10-point shift in California that no one's really talked about, honestly. I don't see much people talking about it. It's such an interesting shift because speaking of shift, he won by 17.5, meaning the state of we take a look. Ver- Minnesota and California were within like less than 2 points within each other. Maine and California were within 0.2% with of each other. It's absolutely insane to think about if you think about it. Florida and California were 5 points off of each other. You think about how insane someone could have said that just a few, 8 years ago. If you said that, no one would take you seriously. You would be the Lickman of 2024 if you said that a few years ago. But like I said, a lot of voters in California, not the biggest fans of Gavin Newsom politics. They'll begrudgingly vote Democrat. But I think a lot of them leaving the state, a lot of them being fed up. I think we can see a huge third party shifts in the state of California. Like if the same shift happens from 2020 to 2024, this race becomes a 10-point margin automatically. It's only a 5-point shift. And I guess you could argue people wise, Harris won by about 3 million votes. And in 2020, we take a look at California. I don't think we can actually see we can see not popular vote. Biden, Biden won by 5 million more. Like Biden got 2 million more votes in safe blue states. If the San Francisco Bay Area, not general area, Inyo County shifted to the Democrats, and then we saw Imperial County, the huge shifts in Imperial County. We saw this general region of the nation, like California, just shift right off a cliff. Yeah. And then for Republicans, I think they win. Also, they put Nebraska by safe. I think they win. Oh, God. I think they win Nevada, Arizona, Arkansas, and I Maine's second congressional district. And I'm gonna get so much hate for this. So no, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I feel very tempted to make North Carolina a. Very tempted to make North Carolina a. We say nah, wait, screw it. It's early in the Trump presidency. Nothing much has happened. I'm making this video as I think people would vote Jan 20th, 2025. Screw it. North Carolina, I'm going to give it to JD Vance by 5 points. We take a look at North Carolina. We see the only reason I am saying Donald Trump would lose, the only reason Donald Trump only won the state by about 3.5 instead of a 5-point margin is Hurricane Helene. We saw the panhandle. This is where the hurricane brutally hit. And North Carolina may that place get better. I say that, but may North Carolina get better. We saw huge shifts in this area. Macomb County, this is a huge population center. Had we can had Trump done better in it, he would have won the state had the hurricane not devastated the area. And yes, it's a right trend, it's a left trending area, but then the black vote, which I don't think Gavin Newsom's gonna do very well with, like, at all. That's probably gonna shift Republican again without Kamala Harris on the ticket. Georgia, I'm not gonna do Georgia. Okay, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. I'm gonna get so slandered. But like they say, any publicity is good publicity. For Democrats, likely states, I think New Jersey becomes likely. And I already said New York. I haven't gotten a chance to talk about Illinois. Illinois, nothing much. It's Rust Belt area. I think the margin can get down to single digits. Same with New York. I do think progressive policies. You're gonna see a combination of deep blue Democrats like AOC turnout for Gavin Newsom. And we're also probably going to see people in like Nassau County. Like Nassau County. We saw Queens County. We saw a lot of these counties, Westchester County, the Hudson Valley. Those people a little bit more apprehensive with population losses, especially in New Jersey with places like Newark. I do think the fact that Gavin Newsom's a white man in the least racist way possible will help him with these kind of voters. But JD Vance, a arguably more stable white man for Republicans in the least racist way possible, because you never know. It's 2024. I cannot say this stuff. So yeah, map. For lean Democratic states, I think Minnesota is gonna be lean Democrat. I think we're gonna see reversions back to the Democrats with Arab American voters, and they didn't actually shift that much. They honestly didn't really shift at all. It was just the entire state as a whole that shifted. Actually, I don't think he does. I don't think JD Vance is better than Trump did in 2016 against Clinton. However, I do think he gets the margin down from 4 to at least 2. And do I wanna put New Hampshire right now? No. So I'm gonna move on to the lean Republican states. I think Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania will all be Republican lean states. These this is Rust Belt territory. This is JD Vance's best area. I think he can reverse trends in Ozaukee, Washington, and Waukesha as quite literally the only counties in Wisconsin that shifted to the right, left actually, except for freaking Door County. These were the only 4 counties, and it irks me that the WoW counties of all places shifted. I think we're gonna see less support. We're gonna probably see Trump do better in not Trump. We're gonna see JD Vance do better in Wayne County. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I can see him do better in Wayne County. Kamala Harris, she's not on the ticket anymore. Black women, we're gonna see huge turnout dips with black women. Honestly, and I think that will be enough for her to win Michigan. Pennsylvania, it's a working class state. We see places like Chester County that shifted towards Chester County shifting towards the left off a cliff. And I do believe a lot of these counties will shift back to the Democrats. However, I think Republicans do better in Allegheny County. And like I said, I believe this is like a black majority, not majority, but this is a pretty blackish area. Like I said, turnout will be down. Same with Wisconsin with the black areas in Wisconsin. So, and oh boy, these are going to be the true competitive states. Georgia, New Mexico, Virginia, New freaking Hampshire, and Nebraska's second congressional district. I'm going to tell you right now, this map will not be the same map as it was in 2024. I do think there will be some shifts. Do this. Take a look. First state I'm going to characterize is the state of New Hampshire. I really needed to figure out whether I was going to make this a tilt Democratic state or a tilt Republican state. That's how close I am in New Hampshire. J.D. Vance is a white Christian from the east part of the United States. He's literally the perfect fit for New Hampshire. I would argue his policies a little extreme, especially in the case of like abortion. But overall, I don't think abortion is going to be a huge issue in 2028. New Hampshire, we see New Hampshire tilt Democratic state, and this is why. So when we see New Hampshire is an interesting state because it always votes against the incumbent party. And let's take a look. Let's go back to 1990. Actually, we can take a look at the trends from 1980. Actually, maybe not the best case because 1998, Bush won the state by 26. The caucus against the caucus. Clinton flipped the state. Actually, maybe that's not the best time to start it. Since the 21st century, when Bush won the state of New Hampshire, it was a 1.3% margin. Then in 2004, the state flipped. Only state to flip the carry. It flips against incumbent parties. Obama won the state by 9.6, and then won the state by 5.6. Shifted against Clinton. Clinton won by 0.37, and then Trump lost the state by 7.4. Then Kamala, she won the state by 2.8. So, will it shift against incumbent? Think mm, I think it breaks the trend, but I don't think it votes for the Republican Party. So now I'm gonna go right off the bat. Nebraska second congressional district goes to the Republicans. This is Nebraska. This is not California. This is rural Nebraska. Actually, it's not pretty rural, it's pretty urban. This is the middle of the Great Plains area. We see a slew of red across the entire nation. I think Nebraska's second congressional district. And then we see Georgia. Georgia, I think, narrow way. No, actually, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make Georgia a lean state, and this is why. Apart from the fact, the only reason Kamala did decent in Atlanta, because we take a look at Atlanta, we saw Henry County. We go back to Henry County. Maybe if we had listened to my video, we'd know what Henry County is. Henry County, 9 point shift. Douglas, this black majority area shifted to the Democrats, except for Fulton, DeKalb, and Gwinnett, and Clayton. The rest of the state shifted heavy towards J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. This is so basically, I made a short today and uncovered 75% of Georgia white voters are Republicans. So if JD Vance can do decent enough with that, I think he does even better or on par with Donald Trump, while also with black turnout going to be down. I think maybe there's a chance he could do better in Fort Cherokee and Gwinnett and Walton, those counties. And then New Mexico and the state of Virginia. I think JD Vance wins these states. Virginia. We take a look at Virginia. It shifted 4.3 to the Republicans. And those shifts came from the metro area, the DC metro area, the Fairfax, the Loudoun, the Arlington, the Alexandria, the Prince Williams, the Manassas. Those are black areas. Black turnout, it's going to be down in 2028. We're going to see black turnout be down. Is that enough for JD Vance to win the state? Maybe. I think black turnout, it's going to be down. Actually, I'm going to use the election shuffler, and this is how we're going to see how Virginia is going to turn to the right. Because we saw turnout was heavy down in 2024 in that area, and that's why Trump won. We take a look at Virginia. This was a 10-point margin. Let's just start with shifting Fairfax. Let's say Fairfax got 7 points. Let's say we see I'm gonna go. Hang on. I have to. Okay. Let's say Fairfax is not getting that much Republican. I'm gonna be brutally honest. If that goes that much Republican, I'm probably gonna delete the channel. Let's be honest. Prince William. Let's start with Fairfax. Fairfax, we saw shifted 7 points to the right. So let's just say Republicans do, let's just say 10 points better in Fairfax. And let's say just turnout's going to be down, let's just say 11%. Loudoun County. So Loudoun County shifted 8 points to the right. So let's say it shifts 13 points to the right. I'm just pulling up numbers and seeing if it makes sense. These are minimal shifts, by the way. And then just turnout. 14% down. So we see the margin already. It's reduced. Let's just multi-select. Okay, we're gonna. I wish there was a way to shift. We're just gonna shift a bunch of Republican areas. I'm gonna pause the video so you guys don't have to look at this. Okay, so I did this off screen. This is Virginia. This is Virginia in a case where JD Vance wins the state. So I also did New Mexico. We can get that one in a little bit. In Virginia, I think people, I know this is very hypocritical, but I think people are floating red Virginia. It probably won't happen. I'm just doing that for the sake of this video. I am assuming, first of all, like this video probably it takes never mind. It's if the election was held January 20th, so a few days from now. Oh, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I completely forgot. Hello, what? Right. So we see a lot of red word shifts, especially in Arlington. This is what I think is going to happen. Arlington, the general area up here, I think it's a huge black majority area. I think black turnout will be down. I think Republicans they have a decent chance of winning if they can, if JD Vance can build off Donald Trump's margins, which honestly, a little iffy on whether he can or can't. You take a look at Virginia, we saw most of Virginia shift to the left. 2012 to 2016, huge panhandle shifts. Especially if Glenn Youngkin's on the ticket though, because Glenn Youngkin did decently good. And we take a look. I did make most counties shift to the right, and you take a look here. Maybe 60% turnout in Fairfax is a bit much, but you get the general gist of the idea. I'm taking 2024 and 2028, so if the margins are pretty high, that's why. New Mexico, on the other hand, I think Republicans had a decent chance to flip New Mexico. First of all, Republicans, they have just solidified themselves of a as a very just solidified them pretty decent force in the state of New Mexico. They can contest, maybe not win, but they can contest. The New Mexico is a very Hispanic. I can't remember if it's a plurality or majority Hispanic, but we see these counties here, they've shifted heavy towards Trump. Border county shifting towards Trump. Donna Ana, this is home to a pretty decent metro area. San Juan, McKinley, like that general area, even Bernalillo and Santa Fe County, they even shift to the right. If Vance can build on that margin, which I think Hispanic, that's there's no reason that also New Mexico, you get the general gist. So overall, this is my map. I think JD Vance flips Virginia and flips New Mexico, Nevada. I think he harries on Nevada and Arizona and the seven swing states he won, while flips Virginia and Nebraska second. And I think New Hampshire's pretty close. New Hampshire's a very weird political state. So thank you guys for watching. Bye. I have to study for some time. I told my dad I would, but I never did. And he's coming home soon. So I'm gonna pretend I studied. Bye.